Three-quarters of a century ago, when the first Hillman Prizes were awarded, one of the initial recipients was the great Murray Kempton, patron saint of all future columnists. But Kempton had only been a columnist for actually part of that year. He had begun it as the New York Post's labor beat reporter. And in that year, in 1950, there were a lot of labor beat reporters. Probably more than 100 daily newspapers had one. Then the labor movement dwindled, and the labor question was kind of relegated to the margins of liberalism's concerns, and the number of journalists on the beat declined even more precipitously than unions themselves were declining. So much so that when a great labor reporter, my buddy Steve Greenhouse, retired from the New York Times, I composed a song of sorts at Steve's retirement party, which began, "It's 2:45, no one in the place except Greenhouse and me," which you will be grateful, will not actually sing. But that was about to change. Occupy Wall Street and Bernie's first presidential campaign revealed, in part to itself, revealed a millennial generation that was taking arms, figuratively, against the stratospheric levels of inequality that they were on the receiving end of. And some of them began documenting this sort of thing in stories that were focusing on what were post-union workplaces. One of them was a young freelancer who'd gone into organizing right out of college and then turned to writing about it. And in the pieces as a freelancer that he wrote for my magazine, The American Prospect, about a decade ago, Josh Eidelson reported on worker insurgencies that were blocked by employers and deficient labor law from becoming actual unions. In one of those pieces, he coined the phrase alt-labor to describe the kind of halfway house to which worker power, that was about the best worker power could do at that point. Josh's reporting then took him to several other publications before he became the chief writer on all things labor for Businessweek. His stories last year at Businessweek included a piece about one important but underreported aspect of labor's renaissance: the young people who became salts, who take jobs with the intent of boosting their co-workers' power through unionization. He also wrote about how a presumably progressive corporation, REI, was going in for union busting as if it was Walmart. And in a landmark piece that he co-authored with Brendan Case, Josh reported on America's fastest growing retailer, Dollar General, with a riveting account of the dangers that both workers and consumers faced in those stores, which were characteristically way understaffed and way over concentrations of rats, and even locked fire doors that were somewhat reminiscent of the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. He and Brendan combined this with the withering analysis of Dollar General's expansion under its expansion uber alles corporate ethos. Well, within a couple of weeks, this story became the focus of John Oliver's Last Week Tonight, and within 3 weeks, the company's CEO was compelled to step down after just a year on the job, and his successor was compelled to announce that the company would, well, slow its expansion and place more emphasis on adequate staffing and workplace safety. That is called impact. Josh, I am happy to report, is not alone. Even as workers have now found ways to overcome the obstacles to organizing in recent years, the number of journalists on the labor beat has grown again. They produce exposés, as Josh has done. They chronicle, as Josh has done, the organizing in recent years of auto workers, college teachers, the Starbucks baristas, whom we saw here tonight. They analyze the remarkable shift in policy at the National Labor Relations Board. The kind of stories that this new generation of labor writers has produced plays a significant role in the rising of this new generation of American workers. It documents and contextualizes their concerns. It documents and contextualizes the corporate law breaking intended to thwart them, and it explains all of this to the broader public, which, if you wonder why, as Bruce said at the outset, union popularity is at the highest level it's been in 60 years, this has something to do with that. No one has done it better than Josh Eidelson, to whom I am delighted to present the 2024 Hillman Prize for Magazine Journalism and the Common Good.
Thank you so much, Harold, for those kind words. And thank you to the Hillman Foundation for this tremendous honor. Thank you to the judges whose work I've long admired, including Katrina and Harold, who I've been so fortunate to benefit from mentorship from. And thank you to my Bloomberg colleagues, including Dollar General co-author Brendan Case and Businessweek feature editor Jeff Muskas. Thank you to my amazing parents. Thanks for coming. I didn't tell people to do that. You filled our dinner conversations and our car rides with stories, and at the end of the day would ask me and my siblings, did you ask good questions today? And thank you to my incredible husband, who taught me, among so many other things, that sometimes the best way to get someone to say more is to just say more. It works sometimes. And he's not a journalist. Aaron has also discovered that when necessary to get me to stop working at night, he can send me a Google Calendar invite inviting me to go to sleep. And it works. You guys mean the world to me. Finally, I'm deeply grateful to the people named and unnamed who have shared their stories with me and made this work possible. People like Josh and Joseph Rivest, a married couple in Apache, Oklahoma, who took me back to visit the Dollar General store where they both used to work. They compared notes with me about the broken equipment, the unhinged doors, the expired dog food, the yellowish puddles, the bugs, living and dead, and then explained how overall the store seemed in better condition than when they had worked there the year before. As people here know very well, labor is not some niche topic. For better or worse, work is at the center of most people's lives. And discussions about civil rights, or power, or politics, or free speech, or democracy are incomplete without it. It's an exciting time right now on the present of work beat. I hope that publications, large and small, will invest more resources into covering it over the years ahead, regardless of what becomes of the current labor organizing wave. These stories being recognized tonight took a lot of time and resources. In fact, even chasing a lead that turns out to not be a publishable story also takes a lot, although there is no award given out for it. So far. The hard stories don't happen without publications willing to make investments that they're not sure will pan out. There are so many stories out there that deserve months-long, independent, investigative, travel-intensive, time-intensive work. And there are a lot of talented journalists who badly want to tell those stories. I hope media organizations will give more of them that opportunity. Congratulations to all the tremendous winners here, and thanks again to the Hillman Foundation and to everyone who makes this work possible, especially those who speak up despite fear of retaliation because they want the truth to get out. Wherever you work, please bring me your stories. Thank you so much.